What's happening, everybody? Happy Monday, and welcome to the Rookie Rundown, a division of the DWZ Fantasy Football Network. I am your host, Memphis. You can find me on Twitter at DWZ Memphis. And joining me, as always, is the man from Kansas City himself. It is Mr. Dallas Hyder, a.k.a. at Salad Galore. Dallas, man, what's going on?
Not much. Had a pretty busy week last week. I actually caught up on quite a bit of rookie film of some of the guys that I had not watched yet this weekend as a reprieve from the stress from last week. So I'm excited to hear Matty's, top rankings tonight so we can chat a little bit about some of my guys, his guys, and see what's going on.
Yeah, Dallas kind of gave away who our special guest is tonight. Now, last week we had the good fortune of having Angelo at Angelo_fantasy on here with us. Tonight we have a member of the team. His name is Matthew Poole, but you can follow him on Twitter at Matty Big Chest. And before we get into what this guy's up to, from him, now is the perfect time. People are looking to get customized MFL leagues. I know he can do some customization on Sleeper, but if you've ever wanted to do a themed league, like if you've ever logged into MFL and you see that gray, red, white, and blue background with just no style, no taste, no class, dude, Matty can church it up. You want an Office, the TV show, the Office theme show, for your league? Matty can do that. You want Marvel? I think I want Marvel. Maybe the next league I join, I'll have Matty do Marvel. I'm a huge fan, but not like just the Avengers. I want the Punisher. I want the Daredevil. I want Logan. I want the cool kids of Marvel. But speaking of cool kids, man, his name is Matthew Poole. You can follow him at Matty Big Chest for all your graphic needs. Matty, man, what's going on?
Dude, I'm living the dream, man. I worked 4 days this week, so it's been a nice week. So back on the grind.
Well, man, you are grinding. So you're working. You're working on becoming an accountant. You're wrapping up your college education, all the things you have to do to be a certified public accountant. You help us out here at the DWZ. If you're watching on YouTube, when this gets posted, you'll see he's rocking a suite. What I love about Matty is if you're watching on YouTube and you have to go to YouTube and you have to see that he's wearing his own t-shirt. It would be like going to see Metallica live in concert and seeing James Hetfield up on stage wearing a Metallica t-shirt. I love it. He also has a DWZ hat on. That is courtesy of our friends at Viridian Global. Now, Matty designs all this stuff. If you're looking me, the banner over my shoulder, Matty helped create that. So just a graphics whiz, man. But what I really want to know is tell us about, Dynasty by Design. I know it's your new concept show. You've had 4 or 5 people on. I jumped on with you, Jerry, Tyler Gunther. What's going on at Dynasty by Design?
Yeah, so recently we just had Will Harris and Peter Howard. So we do a 30-minute quick video, and we kind of break down the basics for Dynasty for newcomers. So it's recently got on 100 views, so I'm very proud of that. So it's continuously growing. Well, I've been enjoying it, man. Just getting a chance to have a platform to speak and to allow people to speak Dynasty is nice. So upcoming is we're going to be talking rookie drafts and rookie scouting with Nate NFL. So that'll be a good episode, and looking forward to it. So it's fun, dude. Every Tuesday it's been a blast.
I've been enjoying it, and I was honored to be a guest. Now that I keep going further down the totem pole, you hear guys like Nate NFL, like Peter Howard, like Tyler Gunther. I'm like, yep, just woo, keep sliding to the bottom. But that's cool, man. I'm really proud of you, and man, make sure you're checking it out, because a lot of times as Dynasty content creators, we create content for each other. But sometimes just to get down into the basics, the blocking and tackling. We all want to do the Odell Beckham one-handed catch in the end zone, but sometimes just the basics of blocking and tackling are good. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're also heading over to subscribe to Dynasty by Design. Just search Dynasty by Design or Matty Poole, and you'll find my man. Now, before we get into the show, I have one thing. I'm just going to promote one thing tonight. That is our contest for our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. Dating myself, I guess. But over at YouTube, if you go and you subscribe, we've got a contest. And the contest consists of this. If we can get to 500 subscribers by June 1st, I will personally host your rookie draft first round. We'll put everybody in a live stream like this. I will help the commissioner facilitate conversation and trades. We will have one hell of a good time. I will be like a master of ceremonies, if you will. And then after the first round, I'll post the video live on the Dynasty Warzone YouTube channel. And then when you guys get done, you can send me all the complete draft information. I will go full Mel Kiper. I will give you guys a school type letter grade, A through F. I'll just be brutally honest, and we'll have some fun with it. And how do you enter? Well, it's pretty simple. Go to the Dynasty Warzone YouTube channel, hit subscribe with notifications turned on. When you do that, I get an alert either via email or direct message on my phone. I copy and paste your name into a running list of names on a notes feature on my phone. When we go to pick a winner, I'll just copy and paste that over into the old wheel of names to draw a winner, and then I will find you. So how do you get multiple entries for your league? Simple. Get everyone in your league to subscribe to the Dynasty Warzone YouTube channel. So, all right, Matty, you are going to get, just because you're part of the family does not mean you're going to get any special treatment. You are going to get the same questions we've been asking everybody, the same 5 questions we've asked Angelo and so many others. I'm going to start with, so what rookie are you not leaving your rookie drafts without? This has like a couple of little follow-ups. Where do you think that rookie will go in drafts versus where will you go up to get him to make sure that you don't leave the draft without your guy?
Yeah, so that's Rondale Moore, and it's because he's so good with the yak. He had 75% of his yards come after the catch, and that's impressive for me. So I have to put him up highly, and I see him going around the 108 right now, to the 109.
In a QB?
In a one QB.
Okay, perfect.
So I would take him as high as a 105 in a one QB league.
Okay, who would he leapfrog for you? So if you're going to take him over at 105, I have to assume, because I know you.
Travis Etienne.
So who's your top 5 then?
My top 5 in a one QB league would be Najee Harris, Jamar Chase, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, and Devonta Smith. But I would, in my personal opinion, Rondale Moore, I can't leave drafts without him. I would draft him over my rankings.
Okay, that's a bold take. But so let me ask you this: is there a spot that he could land in that would make you push Rondale Moore further down your personal rankings? Like maybe he landed in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a bad situation. Forgive me, Chicago, but he lands in Chicago. You've already got Allen Robinson, you got Darnell Mooney, you've got Cole Kmet, you've got Anthony Miller. He lands there. You're not even sure about the quarterback situation. Is there a situation for you personally that could drive him down your draft board?
I don't fade talent based on the situation. What I see on tape is a guy who can really create after the catch, and that's something that teams are really scheming well. So I'm not going to fade him based on where he lands. I think he's just a very talented wide receiver. You know, anyone who can squat 600 pounds and not his hamstring injury, first of all, in college, he should have torn his ACL. There's no way that he shouldn't have torn his ACL, but his lower body is so torqued up that he did not tear his ACL. So all he had was a hamstring injury, which he had nursed for a year and a half. But, you know, he's uber talented. I can't say enough about the kid. So I'm going to stop talking about him now.
All right, I'm going to throw it over to Dallas. Now, for those that don't know, Dallas is a Chicago fan. He roots hard for the navy and gold, or navy and orange, excuse me. So Dallas, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but I know you like Rondale Moore as well.
Yeah, correct. So for me, I have Rondale Moore as my wide receiver 4 in the class. I am right now flip-flopping between him and Elijah Moore as my 4 and 5. I see them playing a very similar role at the next level, and I can't really decide which one I like more. Ironically, both last name Moore, so sitting at 4 and 5 for me. But I think one has the extreme explosiveness that you're looking at with Rondale Moore, while the other has the extreme elusiveness when it comes to the route running aspect and Elijah Moore. The physical tools that Rondale Moore has, you just can't teach wide receivers, which is an aspect that I look for in prospects, which is why he's so enticing. Like you were talking about, some people call him injury prone, injury susceptible. That was really the only major injury that he had, was that hamstring injury. And like you said, he was able to avoid anything that was catastrophic. I am a little bit nervous about said hamstring going forward. Not that I think it's going to be a huge issue, but typically if you have a really bad tear, it's something that pops back up later on. So it's just something I'm keeping my eye on, but I'm right there with you. He should definitely be going ahead of those cutesy picks that a lot of people are going to be doing by putting Terrace Marshall into the first round when they don't want to take in guys like Rondale Moore. So I'm firmly with you at that. I don't know if I would take him at 105. That's a little rich for me. But I do agree that he should definitely be going against any of the other guys, even Jalen Waddle. I'm not a huge Jalen Waddle guy, as everyone knows. I would be taking Rondale Moore above most of those guys.
Now, for me personally, I want to hit on a couple of things. One, I like Rondale Moore quite a bit as well. I have him as my 105 in this class, so I have him in my top 5, and I have him at 109 in a first round 1 QB. So I'm a big fan as well. But one thing I want to say that Matty said that is very appropriate, and Dynasty GMs need to keep that in mind. You don't fade the guy. Let's go back a couple of years to a young man out of Ole Miss named A.J. Brown. He went to a spot that we all thought was crap. Marcus Mariota started the season as the quarterback. Here comes Ryan Tannehill. And I remember in Superflex drafts that year, he was going between 201, and I saw him go as late as 205. In some of the drafts that I was in. So we can't make that same mistake twice. You know, a mistake that goes uncorrected counts as 2 mistakes. So I think that is very good. And for me, I could see him, for me, my rankings are not like set in stone. They are merely a brief imprint right now. And the more information that comes out, the more they will change. And that will go all the way up until the draft. And then I will submit. I actually updated mine over the weekend. So I love it. I love Matty's mindset about not fading the talent. And so Matty, so we like to go both ends of the spectrum. So if you're not leaving your drafts without Rondale Moore, who are you not going to be taking in rookie drafts based on where you're seeing them go? Now, obviously, any of us will take anybody depending on where they land and what the ADP is and if you're getting a value. But at where you're seeing him go currently in rookie drafts, who are you going to be passing and why? Is it because you see him going too high? And we have a Jerry. He's on mute.
Yeah, I pulled a Jerry there, but I needed some time to think about that answer because there's a lot of rookies that I love in this class. But Dallas touched on a rookie that he didn't like already, and it's a rookie that I don't like as well, and that's Jalen Waddle. I'm not a big fan. I think that I'm not a fan of speedsters, so I fade speedsters under 200 pounds. So there's not a lot of love for Jalen Waddle from me in this class. So I won't be taking Jalen Waddle in the first round.
Is that because, well, you just took my next follow-up question. Is that because currently, he's going around somewhere around 106, probably between 104 and 107 in rookie drafts? That's just too high for your blood. You don't like the value.
If he's there at the 201, I'll take him. But I won't take him before that.
So you need him to fall down your draft board a little bit. So what about you, Dallas? I'll give you, because, by the way, after this show, we're going to do a bit of a moratorium. We're not going to allow too much more Jamar Chase and ETN and Waddle. We need to do you guys a solid and start getting into the real nuts and bolts. So you know what? I just made an executive decision. So be prepared. We'll get maybe 2 to 5 people in here with us next week. And we're going to do a 2-round rookie mock draft with no first round. We are going to set the first round before we even hit the record button. And we will start at the 201 and we will go through the 312. So we'll do that next week. We'll do an official mock draft here live on the show. So Here you go, Dallas. Here's your last chance to hang Jalen Waddle like a pinata from a tree, spin yourself in a couple of circles, and whack that man with a stick. Go ahead, have at it.
All right, I'm not going to bury the man. Like I said, I like the prospect. He's a fine individual. He has a lot of explosiveness. He's a good prospect. He's going to go in the first round, at the very latest, the beginning of the second round. I just am in the firm position of where he is going to go. I do not want to take him. There's a lot more risk than reward when it comes to him. Basically, everything that we're doing is a projection for him. He's never officially broken out based off of a metric standpoint or just in general a full season standpoint. He never was the guy during basically the last 3 years. We're saying that he was during the first 5 games of this season, but I don't know that we can honestly say that with the numbers that Smith put up. He was on pace with what Smith was putting up. But again, got injured, a lot of projection. Don't use your first round pick on a projection. Use your first round pick on a sure thing. That's my argument.
All right. Well, you guys know I do like Jalen Waddle. I like his punt returner background. I like the speed. But for me, it's really going to come down to the system. I could see him easily falling as low as my 106 if he were to land with we'll call it sketchy quarterback play. You know, I know Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, GMs wouldn't like it, but if he lands in Atlanta, I'm in. I like Matt Ryan, veteran quarterback. He does a little bit something different than Julio and Ridley do. But if he winds up again, I don't want to keep beating up the Bears, so I'm not gonna. You know, if he winds up in a bad spot like New York with a fellow rookie QB, that might make me nervous. And as much as I like Daniel Jones, I mean, maybe that makes me nervous too. So I would prefer that he lands with a veteran QB and a veteran either offensive coordinator or a head coach that's got an offensive pedigree like an Andy Reid or like a Sean Payton. Like him in New Orleans would be great. I know it's probably going to be Jameis Winston, and we'll talk more on Tuesday about the $140 million faux contract given to Taysom Hill. But he's still my guy. I still like the speed profile. I like the athletic profile. But to be determined on Waddle. All right, Matty, next big question.
I want to say
Sure.
something there.
Sure.
You said you like a punt returner. There's a guy in this class who's pretty good at punt returning, and he's a speedster, and his name's Diami Brown, and you should watch for him. He's going to be going later than Jalen Waddle. He's a better value. He has better breakout age, and he's actually closer. If he's There was a statistical chart that came out, and he was charting on his team's average closer to about Justin Jefferson on the chart in his his junior year. So it was pretty impressive. So
What
I
do you
think
make
Diamond
about
Brown's
Brown's
still
drops? So
you know
there's words going around that he's a bit of a drop artist. Does that make you nervous?
it does make me nervous, and that's why he's faded at his eight. Like that's why he is faded to the second round. Like he's not a first round talent because he does have drops. But who else has drops? Deontay Johnson. So there's talent. There's talented wide receivers, and they have drops. But at the next level, if he can't work on it and fix it, then it's it sucks. He's got to go. But I think he'll work on it and fix it with a jugs machine, man.
Well, get that man a shield and get this other man a jugs machine. All right, who is your most overrated rookie in this class? And can you tell me why you feel he's overrated for you personally versus the consensus?
That's hard because I just touched on Jalen Waddle, but if we're talking a super flex league, I might say Trey Lance because I'd rather have Mac Jones. I think that Trey Lance at the QB4 is bold. I think that Trey Lance should be the QB5 and Mac Jones should be the QB4. I like the accuracy that Mac Jones has, and I just prefer his overall what he's given us from college play. It's very reminiscent of what Joe Burrow has done over his career. Just stepped in and just been dominant, and that's what Mac Jones did. So I like what Mac Jones has done, and all the receivers prefer Mac Jones over Tua that have played with both of them. So that speaks to his character. So, I really like Mac Jones. So, this might be a pro Mac Jones take. But I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but I like Mac Jones a lot.
Well, I like Mac Jones a lot as well, but I also like Trey Lance. So I'm going to throw it to Dallas. Dallas, break the tie. Now, they're different quarterbacks, and you would like them for different reasons. But are you a pro Lance guy? Are you a pro Jones guy? Do you like both?
You see, I like both, but for me specifically, I'm going to take the upside of Lance. I know that there is some sketchiness going on with pretty much anything where a player is not playing a lot of games, which is what we have with both of these prospects. I think Joe Burrow last year was one of the exceptions to the rule. He wasn't hey, the rule no longer applies, so let's just take everyone who has a year worth of starting experience and throw them in. But if I'm picking between 4 and 5, I'm going to pick the quarterback with the more illustrious and alluring traits that Lance has because he's a freak athlete. I am extremely disappointed that he did not run the 40-yard dash at his pro day this week. I feel like if he had put up a fast time, he would have skyrocketed his stock. So I don't know if he's just planning on saying, yeah, guys, I'm fast, trust me. But I feel like that actually hurt him in the long run. So there was nothing that came out with an injury or anything like that, which was a little weird. But for me, I'm going to take Lance over Jones. I do like Jones's accuracy. It's my favorite thing about him. We've talked at length about Jones the last couple podcasts, so I'm not going to go into details of why I like him, but I'm going to take Lance over Jones just from a ceiling aspect in the quarterback
And
position.
I'm not saying that I don't like Trey Lance because I have 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10. So, in the NFL draft. So, I think that there's very talented quarterbacks in this class and they're all uber talented. It's like it's just a matter of upside. I like the accurate quarterbacks. So, give me Mac Jones. That's what I like about him.
Man, see, you guys are making me split between two of my absolute favorite quarterbacks in this class. I just kind of throw Trevor Lawrence out. I think he's kind of the base, and then everybody else is, what we're working with. I love the quote unquote toolsy guy who comes up because I've now stopped getting so consumed by measurables. At least like statistics when I say measurables, like stats in college and games played. I'm looking at traits. I'm looking at how does this guy play the game? I love the fact that Trey Lance has taken a ton of snaps under center. I love the fact that even though he didn't run at his pro day, it didn't hurt Lamar Jackson and it didn't hurt Kyler Murray. No, I'm not saying he's anywhere near as fast as those two guys. I'm just saying I like the traits that I've seen on film. And I was having this conversation with some people on Twitter because, most people would call that an argument, to be honest with you. But I was just, trying to keep it casual. And, if Trey Lance lands in Carolina with Joe Brady and Matt Rule, he'll spring to my number 2 quarterback in this class. I can't not do it. I've got 2 great offensive minds and don't forget a ton of talent around him. So it would be very hard not to like Trey Lance in Carolina. Mac Jones, I've said it before, but I love the intangibles. Yes, I know he could win a dad bod contest. I dig it. But you know what? He's an alpha, and other alphas respect him. Matty mentioned it earlier. When Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle both said if they had to choose, they would choose Mac Jones, even though they actually played more games with Tua. That speaks volumes to me at the Senior Bowl. So I love both. I refuse to pick against my 2 favorites. So I'm going to move on to underrated. Matty, here's a chance. This is the one where I love the guests to have their opportunity to shine. Who is the most underrated rookie in this class?
There's a BYU wide receiver who is very good, and his first name is slipping me right now, but I believe it's Max Dillon, and he's really good, man. He's a smaller receiver, but he made Zach Wilson look really good on some contested catches. So he's a guy that I'm getting in the 3rd to 4th round of my rookie drafts because he's just a slender white guy. Nobody wants him. So, but I want that kind of guy. He's scrappy. He fights for everything, man. So he comes down with contested catches that you wouldn't think he could come down with, and he always gets open for Zach Wilson. He understands zone awareness, which is a big thing for wide receivers. So he knows where to sit in zone defense. So that's a huge thing for wide receivers, like a wide receiver, which he will be in the NFL. This is a guy that I'm projecting to be a sleeper that could end up as a wide receiver 3 in the NFL if he ends up and if he ends up drafted. Just put it out there.
Well, let me. So I've not heard this name. So say his name again.
Max Dillon.
Max Dillon. And
I think it's reverse. I think it's Dax Milne.
Dax Milne, yeah.
Yeah, it's reverse. I think you had the first 2 letters wrong.
Yeah. I pulled a Memphis.
Yeah, I'm horrible about that. So when I hear white guy slot receiver, are we talking Chad Hansen? Are we talking Julian Edelman? Are we talking Hunter Renfrow? Because there's a huge gap between Wes Welker.
You're talking Chad Hansen. You're talking fast. He's fast. He's athletic.
Chris Hogan.
This guy, he looks like he played lacrosse as well, but he didn't. It's Chris Hogan's not the best white wide receiver, but I wouldn't even compare him to a white, like he just understands. I wouldn't compare him to any wide receiver because he just understands how to play the position. He understands how to read defense. He knows what's coming. He knows where to go. He knows what to set up for the QB if it breaks down. So this is something that I like to see because this is what I saw from when I was scouting Zach Wilson. I saw this kid just scouting Zach Wilson alone, and he popped. That's something, he caught my eye, and that's just something that it's nice to see because you're scouting one player, but you actually get to scout another because you get to see 2 players at once. So Dax Milne. Very impressive, and I think he's a stud. I think he's going to end up like an Adam Thielen. If that
Oh, there's another name. Well, what about you? I saw your face because you obviously knew who this was, Dallas. So give us your take on Mr. Milne.
Yeah, so I was with you, Matty, until you said he was fast. I don't think he's fast. I think he's going to run
he's got burst.
Yeah, I think he's the definition of he's got slot burst for a solid 5-yard separation, and then he immediately gets caught up by every corner that's like covering him. That's why every single ball you see him catching is that contested catch. So he's got strong hands, but realistically, he's going to run 4.6s, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was high 4.6s. That's actually one of the biggest issues I have with Zach Wilson as a prospect and why he's not in my top 3 quarterbacks. He's either 4 or 5 for me, is because he's throwing contested balls all the time, partially because of his wide receivers not getting open and partially because he's a little bit late on his reads. But Dax is, I think he's closer to Chad Hansen. He doesn't have the speed that you're going to be looking for, and I don't think he has quite the feel that you're going to get from a Julian Edelman, who was absolutely prolific. I think he will find a role in the league, but I don't foresee him being fantasy relevant at the next level. So this is just a first disagreement of the night for us.
No, hey, I want to learn, man. That's awesome. I just love the, I don't want to say divisive because everybody in this group's always very kind to one another, but I love the difference of opinion. How Matty could have Zach Wilson so high, but he's your QB4. I'm sitting here trying to play peacekeeper. I love everybody. There's very few guys that I don't like, but I'm writing that name down. I'm going to add that to the research pile. All right, Matty, we'll get you out of here on this one. Give us your next James Robinson. Now, this is not, hey, we're going to expect you to give us a rookie who goes undrafted in the draft, who goes on to be a top 5, 6 running back on the season next year, but give us a small school guy to keep a name on, to keep an eye on, rather, for this draft class.
He's not really a small school guy, but he's a small name. Demetric Felton, UCLA. He is a slot wide receiver / running back. He is a J.D. McKissick kind of running back. And he's a guy that I think could have a lot of fantasy relevance in PPR leagues. If you're in a full point PPR league, get this man. Don't screw around. If he gets drafted, he's going to be used in a role like a Naheem Hines or a J.D. McKissick, and it's gonna be fantasy relevance. So it's going to be value there.
I like him. We've actually brought him up a couple of times. I know Dallas likes him as well. I'm curious, Dallas, where do you think he'll get designated at on MFL or Sleeper? Do you think he'll have the running back designation, or is he the kind of guy that you hope gets the wide receiver designation that also plays running back?
Yeah, I he's a tricky one. He is going to be that player who's kind of like Lynn Bowden coming out, where it's no one's going to know until the second that he's drafted what position they're expecting to draft him as. I expect him to be a wide receiver. I don't expect him to be a running back just because his decision making in the backfield is not very good. A lot of his big plays that you saw, Matt Waldman had a really good in-depth breakdown on him, but specifically the big plays that you see are the wide open lanes that he then can absolutely torch people. So you compared him to JD McKissick. I think that's actually pretty good. He has very solid hands and his speed is next level. If you get him in a straight line, it's very Etienne-esque to where you're not catching him. There was a play, I want to say it was against San Diego State, where he slips one tackle in the backfield and then cuts the angle on like 4 guys for a 90-yard touchdown. It was one of those plays where I was like, all right, I'm going to circle you because you are very quick. So I enjoy him a lot. I think he's going to be very good as a slot receiver, but he needs to commit to the position. If we put him in a gadgety role, I think that'll actually hamper him at the next level.
Definitely.
All right, there you go. 5 good rookie questions with our good friend Matty Big Chest. You can follow him on Twitter at Matty Big Chest. We'll be back here next week, guys. Little mock draft Monday. We'll get back to our roots. We'll get back to doing some mock drafts. We'll try to have, something divisible by 12. 2, 4, 6. We'll have some number of drafters here with us on the rookie rundown, and we'll go super flex, tight end premium rounds 2 and 3. So we'll have that all prepared for you next week. Matty, what else do you want these people to know? Where can they find you? How can they get if they want to do a MFL custom, for their league? How do they find you?
Yeah, man. So find me on Twitter at Matty Big Chest. You can find my show page at Dynasty X Design, the X for buy in design. So DM me on Twitter. This is something I do as a hobby. I like to make these leagues, so hit me up. It's really fun for me to see the outcome and be able to share with others. This is something that is a passion for me as well. So I like to be able to do these Marvel leagues because I like Marvel. I like to be able to do these cool icons because they're something that I put passion into. So if you get it, I'm putting passion into this project for you guys, and you're not just getting the rip and dip from other people that do the league sites. You're getting a full experience from Matty Big Chest.
There you go. And I can co-sign that. I have fleeted, and maybe I'll do some tweeting out of some of his work. I've seen it firsthand. I'm in some of the leagues that he's done. So at Matty Big Chest, if you're looking to get your MFL league straightened out. Dallas, you got anything for these people before we get out of here?
Yeah, actually, I've been working on a little piece that I'm going to give to you guys. I am going to be doing positional, I'm calling them Oklahoma drills. A lot of the prospect comparisons that you see out there in the rankings are ranking players that do not fit the same molds going into the NFL. I'm going to be doing one-on-one comparisons of big body wide receivers, slot wide receivers. I'm going to be giving you the lowdown on the pros, the cons, and then which of the 2 prospects you should be targeting if they're both on the board in your rookie draft. So that's going to be a continuing series that I'm going to be doing leading all the way through draft season.
Well, there you go. A couple of good guys to follow at Salad Galore. That's Dallas backwards Galore on Twitter. And you can follow me at DWZ Memphis. Make sure you're tuning in, subscribing, get entered in that contest so that I can host your first round of your rookie draft. Because when I get going, I can bust all your league mates' chops. We can have a lot of good times. We can make fun of some people. We can laugh. We can cringe together when someone takes Trevor Lawrence with like the 104 in a 1 QB league, and just, we'll let a pin drop. But a lot going on. We will be back here. I may do a special bonus 15-minute podcast tomorrow as the NFL's legal tampering period is underway. Last year on that first Monday, we had the DeAndre Hopkins news. We had a lot going on that first day of legal tampering. So we'll be with you all week long here at the DWZ. But on behalf of these guys, one's named Dallas, one's name's Matty, my name's Memphis. And remember, here at the DWZ, we're just trying to make the world a better place for fantasy football. We'll talk to you real soon, guys. Thanks for tuning in.